Hi. I wanted to go live right now for just a very short little bit because I experienced something beautiful today. I have a really good friend here that I was talking to, and we were sharing some of our thoughts for the day. And we tend to be in a lot of sync in our lives lately. Um, Things that I think of, she's thinking of, things I go through, she's going through. Not necessarily the same things, but very similar. Um, and so we were sharing today, and we both had been thinking about the same thing, literally about what are we here for? What are we kind of on this planet for? And we both sort of came up with the same ideas at the same time. It was kind of cool. Um, I was out walking my dogs, and I went out. My dog, one of my dogs yesterday, the last couple of days has not been 100% herself. So I've been keeping a close eye on her. And so today she was sleeping so beautifully this morning and so comfortably. So I wanted to just give her a little time to sleep in. And so I let her sleep in. I thought, it doesn't matter what time we go for a walk. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter how long we go for a walk. It's Saturday, and we'll just go whenever we go, and we'll go for as long as they want to go, and we'll just enjoy, when we go. So that's the way I just did it. And so we got kind of a late start, and then we got out there, and I mean, it was glorious. It was a beautiful day. It was a little crisp and cold, but that's okay. Uh, she seemed to be doing really well. They both were chipper and ready to go. So off we went. And we went for this kind of long, sort of windy road sort of trip. She sort of let me know where she wanted to go, and we went. And you know, we take little breaks. We stop, and we'll have little sits, and we'll have water, and just take a little moment to enjoy. And she likes to sit on the floor, lay on the floor, on the ground, wherever we are. And my big boy likes to sit usually on whatever bench or place I find to sit, and he likes to sit right next to me. And so I cuddle with him, put my arm around him. So we found this bench where we go, and we were sitting there, and it's next to a library, and it's across from a fire department. And so there's traffic going by and people walking by, and there's a lot to watch and see. And they're real people dogs. They love people. So any place they can put themselves where they might get a hello and a pet, they love that. So we're sitting on this bench, and she's sitting on the ground, and Rigby and I are sitting on the bench together, cuddling, and we're just having a really great time. And I'm not thinking about the time. I don't care how long it takes. I'm just enjoying where we are and what we're doing and however long it takes. And it's just a marvelous day. So as we sit there, this older gentleman comes by, and I've seen him before. And he's just really a sweet, nice man. And he comes by, and he reminds me. He says, I saw you just last time I saw you was here, and I sat next to your boy on the bench. And he kind of leaned into me, letting me know he was there, and letting me know he was kind of the boy. And so we sort of had this little chatter back and forth, and we finished talking. And he said, it's always great to see you. And I said, likewise too. I really appreciate seeing you. And nice smile, and off he went, and off, and I sat there for a little bit longer. And then as I said, it's time to move. Let's get up. Let's get going and move on. And so up we got and started to move on. And I was thinking, I was reflecting back on and thinking that, this question comes up for a lot of people. Why are we here? What are we here for? What are we doing? And I think we get so complicated in the answer. We think it needs to be this big, vast answer. Like, I'm here to create da 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 da, or I'm here to build this monumental vision. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having that and saying that if that's what you feel you're here to do. I'm not knocking that at all. But I think too that it also can be extremely simple, because what I realized, I thought to myself as I saw people I knew and had little conversations with them and exchanged smiles and saw somebody light up, just from interaction, just from our human interactions, and then seeing us and seeing the dogs, which they enjoy. I thought to myself, isn't it even that simple? Why are we here? For just to share these kind of moments with each other, to bring a smile to each other's face, to interact and touch someone else. Whether it's I see somebody drive by and I wave at them, whether it's somebody sees me and my two dogs, which are two big white Samoyeds, so it's not like you don't notice them. In fact, let me show you a picture what they look like. That'll give you an idea. So this is what they look like. They're kind of hard to miss. So I'm walking with two of them, and I thought, isn't it just that simple, just to be here, just to bring a little light to somebody, no matter how you bring it. Like I said, whether it's hello, whether it's a smile, whether it's a wave, like I said, my dogs are quite distinguishable. So a lot of people will drive by, and I had this happen quite a bit today where, I'll get a honk and it'll be somebody I see from somewhere, and they wave and they say hi because they recognize us, because we're sort of hard to miss. And then I had another neighbor, somebody was walking by his house, and he had said something to somebody who was going back in his house, and he saw me coming, and he turned around and came back out to say something to me. And we said hi, and then he said, "You walk everywhere." And I said, "Yeah, I do." He said, he goes, "No, really, you walk a lot." And I said, "Yeah, I tend to walk about 8-10 miles a day." And he's like, "Yeah," he goes, "I see you way over here, and then way over there, and then down over there, and over here." And I said, "Yeah, and I like to get my dogs out in different places and do different excursions. I like to see different neighborhoods, and, they like to go to different places. So, yeah, we walk a lot. And, it's great for me. The bonus is my health." So, and it was great just to chat and say hi to him. And I just think if we can get out of our heads a little bit and start realizing that life really is that simple. Um, it's just to share moments like that, I think, is such an important gift to be able to give each other. Um, to be human, to get away from being on the phone all the time, to get away from texting all the time and the computer all the time, and get outside uh, and see each other and really see each other and share a warm hello, a smile, a wave with somebody. And I think we don't realize how much that can mean to somebody else, um, how much it touches other people. I really get to hear it because I get the feedback from people, because I'm a real people person and my dogs are real people magnets. So I do talk to a lot of people. And I'm also one of those people that I like to encourage people and say things to people, not to get a reaction, but let's say I see a lady, someone, it doesn't matter their age, but I saw this lady the other day, and I don't know, she was somewhere between her 70s and 80s. And she just had the most adorable, like cutest little hat on I've ever seen. And I just was like, wow, that was just so cute. And I couldn't help it. I had to tell her. I said, I just love your hat. You look so smart. And it's a great hat. And she just beamed. She was so happy. She got so excited because I noticed her. And it's like, it made me feel so good. And I was just thinking today, isn't that enough? Isn't that enough reason to be here? To be able to share like that with others, to be able to give a little joy to somebody else, to be able to feel good? Isn't that enough? Um, and it's funny, the friend I was talking to later on the phone, she was saying the same thing, and we get so wrapped up in thinking it's got to be some complicated answer, and it doesn't. It's that simple. Um, we're here to love each other. We're here to share with each other. We're here to bring a little light into each other's lives. We're here to bring a little laughter, to bring a smile, to share a poignant story, um, to pet an animal, uh, just to do some simple things. Um, and I just wanted to share that today because it was so deep, and that's also part of healing. You know, rather than sit here and think about, my friend was also telling me a story about somebody she knew that tends to be a little bit of a narcissist, and tends to think a lot about themselves a lot and needs a lot of focus on them. And, rather than, she was talking to her on the phone, and rather than say, hi, how are you? Oh, I'm great. It was more like, hi, how are you? It's like, well, I'm not feeling good. Or, this is happening to me with my body. So she immediately goes to, so I'm dying, or I may be dying, and she wants attention. My friend and I have talked about this, and I have seen it many times. And this person just doesn't know how to bring delightful attention to her life in any other way than to have some drama, have some situation that's major drama so that people pay attention. She thinks that's the only way she'll get attention. So, it's always, she tends to go to the negative side of things. There's always something really horrible that's bad that's happening, and it tends to be pretty darn extreme. Like, I've got cancer, or I could have cancer, or so and so is cheating on so and so, or they're really extreme situations and negative situations, and so it's kind of like, I was thinking what a joy it is for me now in my life now, because I moved away from my family, where I used to live, everything I knew. And at the time, it seemed almost scary, but it was exciting too. But it was a huge leap. And I really didn't know what to expect. And then I went through a ton of health crisis, as I said in my last blog. But, I am not one to go on the down spiral. I'm just not. I never have been. And I'm always the one that looks at the glass half full rather than the glass half empty. I feel very fortunate that I've always had that kind of outlook. But I also cultivate it. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, I was just born that way. I've worked hard to cultivate that kind of mindset, to be honest with you. And so I just was thinking about, how grateful I am to be now where I am, to live here, to live on my own, to have taken the steps I did to move away from where I was, from the comfort of where I was, from everything I knew, from everyone I knew, and establish my own life, my own. I now live in a lifestyle that's whatever I choose, however I choose it to be. So I make it as good or as bad as I want it to be. I create it. And I thought, and she and I were talking, and I said, I am so grateful, because she's done the same thing. She moved away from everybody she knew, all her family, and, her ex-life, and, moved somewhere where she didn't really know anybody either. And that's actually how we met. We met on the beach with our respective animals at the time, and just bonded and became close friend and cultivated this wonderful friendship, and have been just had this marvelous ride of friendship ever since. And so, we were both sharing this and saying how we are both so grateful that we both took this leap, because our lives are our own creations. Yeah, there are things that you're obligated to do, and you do, but for the most part, our lives are whatever we decide them to be. And it's amazing, and it's wonderful. It's a wonderful way to live. And it's choice. We all make choices. You can choose whether your cup is half full or your cup is half empty. You can choose whether you want to say, I am healthier today than I was yesterday, or whether you want to say, I could have cancer today. I can't go there. I don't even like saying those kind of words, because I don't even like those words in my energy, because every day is a new day. Every day is something new to explore. Something's coming up. Negative things come up, things happen, but it's really how you look at them. How negative are they, really? Maybe what they are is they're just a fabulous new lesson coming forward that you just need to sort of look at and not look at them as something negative. Look at them as a tool, a learning, something to learn from. And then when you look at them that way, oh, so maybe they're not negative. Maybe they're actually something really positive because they changed my view. They made me look at things differently. They made my awareness, they made me open up my awareness. So I just wanted to jump on and share this with you because it's been kind of a really enlightening day of, I can look at it and I could look at it and say, well, I didn't do that much. I didn't sit down and get a lot of writing on my book done today. I didn't, but at the same time, I can say I got a lot done because I did everything I feel that I needed to do. I touched a lot of people today. And I touched a lot of lives today. And I brought a lot of smiles to people. And I brightened up people's day by sharing with them. And my animals and I were just so in sync and had the most marvelous day together because there was no pressure. It wasn't about, well, hurry up, we got to go, we need to rush. You need to go to the bathroom so that we can move on. I have things I need to do, la, 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 la. I just took each moment as it was. Each moment was each moment. And it's just been a truly lovely, wonderful, beautiful day. And I'm so grateful for it. And tomorrow's another one. I have intention. I have intention to try to get a little more writing done tomorrow. Do a little meditation. I've got other things brewing. But I also am not going to be absolutely heart crestfallen if things change. I really try to live my life that way. I try not to plan too much. It's kind of hard not to plan some things. But I try not to plan too much because I really try to let the day evolve. Because you never know what's going to come up. And you never know what's going to invade the day that you planned. And if you plan all this stuff to be so in such a way, and it's got to happen this way, that way, and this way, and then it doesn't, and you allow yourself to get all discombobulated and disappointed, it's not worth it. And all of that goes back to my original. It affects your health. It affects your whole being. It affects your aura. It affects everything. Like I mentioned on my first video, my first live, which was a couple days ago, this is now my second. And I watched, it's interesting, somebody sent me something before I started this on Facebook, and I thought, how perfect is this? A good friend sent me a link to a TED Talk that somebody had done. I actually watched 2 TED Talks before I got on here. And one was about communicating with your animals and how your animals are your mirrors and how we can learn so much from our animals, which is 100% what I believe. And I try to tell people this all the time and teach people this because our animals are our mirrors. So that was a wonderful one to listen to. And then the second one was about how to speak, how to live speak. And I thought to myself, now, isn't that funny? Here's my friend sending me this. And how perfect is that? I'm starting to live speak. So this just helps me. And it's all about your tone and how we speak, how we hold ourselves. Do we want to speak with a lot of happiness behind our voice? Well, if so, then we need to smile when we speak, because that embodies the happiness that's inside of us to come out in our voice. Um, and the boldness, like this woman was talking about how when you speak, when you stand and you stand with your arms on your hips and you're feeling really good and you're breathing from your belly. So it's coming deep. And so I've learned quite a bit from that. And it was so wonderful to, I thought, all these things happen for a reason and they all happen at the right timing. And it's perfectly evident to me because they did. I got both of those TED Talks right before I was going to get on and speak. And then it just encouraged me even more to get on and speak, and to speak in a different way, because I learned some new ways that I can reach out, and it also made me think about, she talks about when you speak, what's your intention? Um, what are you coming to talk to people about? And how do you want to come across? Do you want to come across, alive and vivacious and engaging? And do you want to come off softly and gently? Do you want to come off strong and intentional and have people listen to you? I mean, it all comes from your voice. And so it's a lot for me to think about and ponder. And then the last thing I saw right before I jumped on here was I saw a little snippet of Kelly Clarkson, who is one of the first singers of American Idol that won it. And she's got a talk show. I've never watched it, but it was a little snippet of her talk show, and it was something one of my friends had put up on their Facebook, and it was Kobe Bryant. It was an interview she'd done with him just recently, and about how connected he is with children, or he was with children since we've lost him, and what a light he was. I mean, and how she had no idea that he was that interested, he was that amazing in what he was doing with kids. And I had no idea. I had absolutely no idea. The only thing I knew about him was he was a great basketball player. And I knew he'd gotten married and had kids. I really didn't even know how many kids he had. And I didn't know how involved he was with children. And he'd just written a kid's book. And, he was, of course, coaching his daughter's team, basketball team. And how involved he was with kids, and such a great mentor. We did lose a great gift in him at this time. But then like I said, I really try to focus on the glass half full rather than the glass half empty. So rather than think that we lost a great mentor, I like to think of what a great gift we had. And we were given this great gift and able to share it for as long as we were given it. And to many, it wasn't long enough. Once again, I'm going to try to look at this as the glass half full. and say we were just lucky and fortunate to have him for as long as we did. And what a gift. And let's continue that gift. Let's all try to find Kobe Bryants in ourselves. And in whatever way they come out, whether they come out as a gift to a child, a gift to the elderly, a gift to animals, a gift to humanity, to nature, to the environment, to the poor, to those that have so much less than others, or to a voice to those that have so much that we can reach so that they can expand and learn to share. Whatever it is, whether it's politics, whether it's, I don't care. It really doesn't matter. I wish we could get more political voices out there that would start speaking to humanity in a way that's with love and kindness, and not all about some political agenda, which, to me, means so little in this world now. It's like we get so wrapped up in some of this stuff, and I'll touch on this very briefly because it was something else I did see, which I wish we could would change. And I will do whatever I can to help the voices change, because I was watching, it was basically, it was on Facebook again, and it was somebody mentioning, the primaries have been going on, and somebody commenting about, obviously not positively, about Trump, and some of the things he said and how horrible they are, and then getting nasty, and then others making really nasty comments, and and then there was the other side of it. Then there was these people talking about Nancy Pelosi and what an idiot she was, and how could she do what she did, and so it was sides of both coins, belittling each side and lowering themselves to both being hypocrites, because they were both being as low as they possibly could. They were both being worse than any children I've ever seen or read. They were just downright being nasty to each other. And I thought, don't they get it? This is what those that are the ones that are way up there in control want us all doing, because they don't want us to pay attention to what's important, which is to start loving each other and to start caring about each other. Because if we do, we can solve a lot of the problems we have in this world. But you see, if we don't, and we go at each other and we fight with each other as, like, say, Democrats and Republicans, and we get into all that baloney of knocking each side down and knocking each other down because of what one says and the other says, and then starting to call each other idiots, and you don't know what you're talking about. And then we block each other on Facebook, and all of that stuff happens. It's like, don't people get it? That's exactly how we lower our frequency, how we make it worse, how we make the powers that be, that are the ones that are in control, happy, because then we're not focused on what they're actually really doing in the background, the laws that are getting passed, we're just starting to bash each other, and that gets us nowhere, absolutely nowhere, but makes us look like idiots. And it's like, Oh my God. Wake up, people. Wake up. It's not about he said, she said, I'm better. I know what's right. You don't. What's wrong with you for not listening? You're an idiot to believe that one. No, you're an idiot to believe that one. And it's like, stop it. I just want to scream. Stop it. Stop putting the energy into all of this stuff that really doesn't matter. When you're 90, let's say, hopefully you make it that long, if you want to, and you're getting ready to pass on, do you think you're going to be sitting there saying, I wish I'd bashed the president, Trump, when he was the president more? Or I wish I'd bashed Nancy Pelosi more? You know, let's hope you're not sitting there and thinking that when you're getting ready to pass on to the next journey, that you're not focused on that, that you're focused more on being, and you're not focused on fear, but you're focused more on your heart and being open and being grateful for the life you've had and having loving, wonderful family or friends or animals or nature or whatever it is around you, surrounding you on your last moments while your body is here, before your soul takes off on its next journey. Anyway, I'm sort of touching base on a lot of different little things. I started on one thing and now I've kind of gone way off. But that's what this whole thing is about. And all of it really comes back to, how do you heal? You have to learn to let all of these things go. You know, all of these little places go. And I touched on this on my very first video, and I will touch on it again. I'm working with some stem cell patches, and I've been taking some now for, I think I'm close to about 15 days. And I gotta say, I am finally starting to feel, I'm getting a real sense of they are helping me intensely, more than anything. I've had nothing else be able to help my health like this is starting to do. And for those that suffer from mold exposure and sickness, they know it's devastating and it's very difficult to try to get better from. And once it's sort of gotten in your system, it tends to sort of be there and it's weakened your system. Now, mind you, I'm also in a mindset that I'm not going to live thinking that way. I'm going to think that I can actually heal completely. It's taking a lot of steps, but I think I'm finding a really good formula that's and it's working. So I will talk more about this as this process goes on for me. And I'll actually even have some blood tests to back it up, because I had some blood work done before I started the patches. And I gotta say, my test results were in the garbage, were really, really bad. The doctor that actually looked at them didn't want to hold any responsibility for me, because they had the mold had knocked my thyroid off again, to a point where my thyroid then knocked everything off. My cholesterol was just way sky high. My thyroid was way, way low. My liver did not look good. A lot of things were not looking good. And this doctor made me actually sign off the papers because he just didn't want any responsibility for my health. I have been adjusting things and working on myself, and I feel better than I've felt in a long time. And I'm even looking at myself on this live feed, and I look better than I've looked in a long time. A lot of my swelling and puffiness is going down. My neck looks better than it's looked in a long time. I'm not all about vanity, but we all try to look our best. We all want to, you know, and for me, I want to feel my best. And the mold makes you look a certain way that you don't look like yourself. It actually made my features morph into I didn't recognize myself. I've had it happen so much that I got used to looking that way. So that now that I'm starting to come out of that and starting to look more like what I remember that I used to look like, I'm realizing how I've not looked like myself for quite some time, and how badly I've looked. So I'm actually very encouraged. So I will share more on that as I go, because that's a huge part to my healing, and I want to give it as much credit where it deserves. So I will share more of that as I go on. But anyway, this was wonderful. I just wanted to reach out and say hello and touch base from bouncing back, because all of this is in my book. So when it comes out, you'll be able to read about it if you so choose. I hope you do. And in the meantime, I will see you soon, within who knows, a day or two, whenever I feel it coming out again. And I just felt it was really important to sit down and talk to you and share some of what I've experienced and what this day has brought to me. And it's been a beautiful day, and I hope you all have a beautiful evening. And thank you for joining me. And all my love, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.